Members of the House, please be seated.
Will the House come to order? Mr. Clerk.
Aloha and good afternoon. Today's invocation will be delivered by Representative Matthew S. Lopresti. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Please stay seated. Thank you. Members, I've been reading a lot of Marcus Aurelius lately, one of the great Stoic philosophers of the Western tradition and former emperor of Rome, and I thought I'd share a few of his passages with you. So if you'll indulge me about 3 minutes, I'd like to share this. My friends, begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. All of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. But for my part, I have long perceived the nature of good and its nobility, the nature of evil and its meanness, and also the nature of the culprit himself, who is my brother. Not in the physical sense, but as a fellow creature similarly endowed with reason and a share of the divine. Therefore, none of these things can injure me, for nobody can implicate me in what is degrading. Neither can I be angry with my brother or fall foul of him, for he and I were born to work together, like a man's 2 hands, feet, eyelids, the upper and lower teeth. To obstruct each other is against nature's law. And yet, no man is so fortunate that some who stand beside his deathbed will be hailing the coming loss with delight. He was virtuous, let us say, and wise. Even so, will there not be at the end one who murmurs under his breath, "At last we can breathe freely again"? Such is the fate of the virtuous. As for the rest of us, what a host of other good reasons there are to make not a few of our friends glad to be rid of us. Think of this when you come to die. It will ease your passing to reflect, I'm leaving a world in which the very companions I have so toiled for, prayed and thought for themselves wish me gone, and hope to win some relief thereby. Then yet how can any man cling to a lengthening of his days herein? Yet do not on that account leave with any diminished kindness. For them, maintain your own accustomed friendliness, goodwill, and charity. Lastly, often ponder in your mind the multitudes of the dead of every calling and every nation. Think how we must follow whither so many great orators have gone before, so many reverend sages, Heraclitus, Pythagoras, Socrates, the heroes of early days, the captains and kings of after ages as well, and I paraphrase here, the Lincolns, the Churchills, the Marcus Aureliuses, and many another, keen wits, sublime spirits, men unwearied, resourceful, and resolute, those too who made a merry jest of the transience and brevity of this mortal life. Muse often on these men, all long since laid low in death. How, pray, are they the worse for it now, especially those whose very names we have forgotten? In this life, only one thing is of precious worth, to live out one's days in truthfulness, and in fair dealing and charity with the false and unjust. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Aquino, Ms. Bellotti, Mr. Bronco, Ms. Clark, Ms. Eli, Mr. Ganaden, Mr. Gates,
Excused.
Ms. Har,
You have to put your mic on. Representative Har? You have to put your mic on. You're muted right now. And please note the presence of Representative Gates, We've got it. Representative Har, Representative Gates, we see you. Thank you very much. Mr.
Mr.
Clerk,
Hashem?
please continue to call the roll.
Mr. Hashem? Mr. Hashimoto? Mr. Holt?
Excused.
Ms. Ichiyama? Mr. Iligan? Mr. Johansson? Ms. Capella? Ms. Kitagawa?
She's here. We're having technical difficulties with the remote members. We get that.
Mr. Bertrand Kobayashi? Mr. Dale Kobayashi?
Here.
Mr. Kong? Mr. Lopresti? Ms. Lowen? Ms. Luke? Ms. Martin? Mr. Matayoshi?
Here.
Ms. Matsumoto? Mr. McDermott? Mr. McKelvey? Ms. Morikawa? Ms. Nakamura? Mr. Nakashima? Mr. Nishimoto? Mr. Ono? Ms. Okimoto? Mr. Onishi? Ms. Peruso?
Here.
Mr. Quinlan? Mr. Saiki? Mr. Sayama? Mr. Takayama? Mr. Takumi? Mr. Tam? Mr. Tarnas? Mr. Todd? Mr. Tokioka?
Present.
Mr. Ward? Ms. Wildberger? Mr. Woodson? Mr. Woodson? Mr. Yamane? Mr. Yamashita? Mr. Speaker.
Here.
Mr. Speaker, 49 members are present, one is excused.
Thank you very much. Reading of the Journal, Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred?
So ordered. Thank you. Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the Governor?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we are in receipt of a communication transmitting the noted Senate bill having passed third reading in the Senate.
Thank you very much. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Senate bill laying on the clerk's desk pass first reading by title.
Thank you very much. Representative Matsumoto.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Thank you very much. Members, it's been moved and seconded that the Senate bill laying on the clerk's desk pass first reading by title. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Introduction of resolutions. Mr. Clerk, are there any resolutions for action?
Mr. Speaker, there are no resolutions for action. May all others be referred to print.
So ordered. Thank you very much. Members, are there any announcements? Yes, Representative Nakamura.
I'd like to invite members to attend Housing Day 2022 today from 1 to 2 p.m. via Zoom. There's going to be 6 speakers talking different aspects of the problems and solutions to deal with Hawaii's housing crisis. I invite all of you to join us.
Thank you, Representative. Further announcements, members? If not, for the motion to adjourn, Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 12 o'clock noon tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Representative Matsumoto.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.